Flashback.
Hello world. I have decided to review the new Netflix atrocity Marmaduke.
Jesus Christ.
Now, I thought I would do something a little bit special. As of today, it is May 2nd. It's Monday. The movie comes out May 6th on Friday. I am going to guess right now how this movie is going to play out before it releases, and we'll see if that lines up in the rest of the review. So, my guess is from seeing the one trailer of Marmaduke that's come out, Marmaduke is going to do something very stupid. It's going to start off with him being silly and supposedly cute, but it's going to look terrible. And he's going to do something that gets himself on the radar, which makes this super famous dog trainer want to train him, because he's going to be like, I can turn the world's dumbest and worst dog into the greatest dog in history. I can turn him into a king. So he's going to start training him, and it's not going to go well, and there's going to be a bunch of hijinks, and then he's going to enter his first tournament, and it's going to fail, and he's not going to do well, and then his confidence is going to get shaken because somebody's not going to believe that he can do what he can do, and it's going to make him sad. Then he's going to talk to somebody, or he's going to do something cool, and it's going to bring up his confidence and give him the strength to try again. And then he's going to enter a bigger dog show that is going to be way more important than the original one he went into, and how he gets into it, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. He probably got in because, the dog trainer he knows is a world champion class dog trainer, and that's why they're just going to let this dog that has never won a single tournament in its life enter it. Then, after he enters it, he's going to meet the big bad dog that may or may not be introduced earlier on in the movie, and he's going to try and sabotage him because he's going to be a prick. And then when he loses the first round, because I'm pretty sure dog shows run in rounds or different challenges, he's going to lose a challenge or two because he's going to get sabotaged, and then he's probably going to talk to somebody, and he's going to get even more confidence, and then he's going to come back and he's going to be himself. He's going to learn that he didn't have to be a special kind of dog and learn all these stupid tricks or anything. He's just going to be Marmaduke. He's going to do his Marmaduke thing for the final challenge, and then he's going to win, and everybody's going to love him. And then the movie is going to end with him doing something stupid, and they're probably going to be like, Marmaduke! And that's going to be the end of the movie. That is my prediction of how this movie is going to go. I don't know if that's how it's going to be. It's just my prediction off this trailer. And you know what? If I'm wrong, I'll hold this L. So we'll see. I will see you on Friday. Wrong! Which is a few days for me, but for you, it's going to be a second. So, bye.
End of Flashback.
Hello, folks. Now, I am going to hold this L. I was slightly wrong about how the movie Marmaduke played out. He didn't end up winning the dog show at the end, and also I was wrong about how the movie was going to end, the final scene. It didn't end with the crowd going, Marmaduke, in that goofy way because he did something silly. So I will, like I said, I'll hold the L, I was wrong. But everything else that I said in that flashback section was 100% correct, and that is exactly how the movie went, which is sad that I was just wrong about those very small elements at the end of the movie, and that I guessed everything else that happened. You, if you've clicked on this video, have seen the title for this. Marmaduke is atrocious. This movie is practically worthless to watch. Anything in this movie that was worthwhile, like the voice actors in this, you've seen them or you can see them in better things that are worth more of your time. Johnny Youngbosh, just watch Bleach. If you want to see him actually trying and doing really well, just watch Bleach. He's the main character. He's Ichigo Kurosaki. Pete Davidson, if you want to see Pete Davidson be in something cool, watch The Suicide Squad. If you want to see him be funny, watch his comedy shows. J.K. Simmons, watch literally anything J.K. Simmons is in. Spider-Man, pretty much any Spider-Man movie. Watch frickin' Invincible. Now, granted, all of these things are for adults, which you're probably like, hey, this movie is for kids. What about the kids? If this movie isn't good to watch, what should they watch? I don't know. Any other animated movie. Because this one is not worth their time. This is literally a movie that a parent who needs a kid to shut up, they'll just put it on so that they'll stare at something colorful for a while. There isn't anything in this movie that I will remember or that a kid will remember fondly in a few years.
Now, for me, I love art. I love animation. I'm a huge fan of anime, cartoons, the wazoo, stop motion, all that good stuff. And I still remember movies that I saw as a kid. So, animated movies, now, granted, I should say this, animation is not just for kids. I know a lot of people think that. It's not. You're 100% wrong. There is no dispute in this argument. Anyway, there are animated movies that I saw for kids that I could rewatch today and still enjoy. And I still remember them from seeing them the one time I saw them before I was even 13. Like the Kim Possible movie, Codename Kids Next Door, Ben 10. Like I've seen those animated movies when I was kids. Hell, on this channel, I did a video about the Doctor Strange animated movie that I saw like once or twice before I was 10 years old. The last time I saw it was January of 2008. I was 9 years old when that happened. I still remember that movie to this day. Like, I still remember the scene where Kim goes to homecoming in that tattered dress that she fought in, and her and Ron have their iconic dance, and they have their first kiss, and they have that music playing. I still remember the music in my head. I remember Ron defeating the big bad and finally making him acknowledge his name as a threat. I remember seeing number one and number zero fight side by side, being family members and bonding. I remember Ben wearing an Omnitrix that was going to self-destruct. I remember the Teen Titans Go to Tokyo movie where they fought a giant ink Japanese monster and Starfire and Robin had a heartfelt romantic moment. Like, these were all movies that I saw when I was a kid, roughly in the age range that this movie is marketed for. And all of those movies have affected who I am to this day. I still remember them. They're worthwhile movies to watch. This isn't. It's not funny. It's terribly animated. The only thing it has to it that's worth merit is a bunch of famous actors that fill out the voice cast. But again, those famous actors and comedian can be found in better things other than this. Like, you're better off putting on something else that's more worthwhile. Speaking from the animation standpoint, Marmaduke looks like a movie that came out in the early 2000s. Marmaduke specifically looks like Scooby-Doo from the live-action Scooby-Doo movies, but worse somehow. And it also looks like the animation qualities of the movie Hoodwinked, either on par or worse. Depends on who you are as a person, what you feel about it. But those two movies have heart in them and are rewatchable for kids and adults. Marmaduke is not. Marmaduke has slapstick comedy for kids that's very boring and unenthused, and then it weirdly, about halfway through the movie, gets oddly sexual and tries to have adult comedy that kids wouldn't understand, but it wasn't funny, it was just super awkward.
Hello, Amy.
Oh, Guy Hilton.
I have a favor to ask the president of the World Dog Championship.
What kind of favor?
What do you mean by that?
There is a point in this movie where a dog, played by J.K. Simmons, hypnotizes an audience with his fur and makes them start to twerk. And the shot they show is of like an old woman with a fat... No, that's not a good. Let me try that again. With a large... No. With a robust badonkadonk twerking in a chair. I'm speaking to the animation team, the writer, the director, everybody that worked on this. The writer wrote that in the script. Then the director framed it, and the animation team made it. Did no one in that large amount of people think it was stupid to have a old woman with a large badonkadonk twerk in this children's movie that says it's for 7-year-olds? Who wins in this? I'm just curious, cause like the kids, they don't win. This movie doesn't have worth. And the adults don't win either. And I'm sure you don't feel victorious having made it. So who was that for? That's just a question, that's just a question I'm posing out there. But hey, whatever. So, as I was saying, Marmaduke is not worth watching in the slightest bit. This movie's message about be yourself is extremely generic, and also it doesn't make any sense. The Marmaduke's message about being yourself is completely undercut by the fact of everything that happens at the end of the movie. So the movie itself is about Marmaduke being a mess. He's just a crazy, unruly dog, and that leads to them wanting him to be trained, and this world famous trainer is like, I want to train him so he can become the best dog, as I mentioned in the flashback portion. Then he ends up going to a tournament that doesn't work out, and blah, blah, blah. The point they really care about is when he's at the world championship. While he's at the world championship, they all have to do a talent show at the end, and every dog shows a unique talent. They don't show they don't actually show every dog that's in the show, but the ones they do show are really talented. Like the dog J.K. Simmons plays, Zeus, literally can hypnotize people by shining light on his fur. The dog Z, I don't speak Chinese, I don't know how to pronounce his name properly. Don't judge me. They're capable of doing martial arts and rapping for some odd reason.
I'm a mystic, gonna be ballistic. Be aware my game stays clear and never pilot.
And freaking using force powers? Like, what? There's a dog that can literally lift an entire building with its jaw. There's another dog that's a burlesque dancer, which was super weird. Like, it was a French poodle that did a burlesque dance, and I was like, why are we again, development team. Who wins in that situation? Is it the furries? Because I don't think they're going to see this movie. Anyway, all of these dogs have unique talents. And then you get to Marmaduke, who chases a cat around the stadium in a cowboy outfit and then dances a little bit. And everybody's like, yeah, I'm vibing with Marmaduke. And I'm just like, no. Realistically, if I was a judge judging that dog show, Marmaduke would be at the bottom of the barrel. Like, every other dog I just mentioned did some weird supernatural reality breaking thing or something that was extremely, weird and talented. Marmaduke just chased a cat around. That's not an impactful talent. That doesn't, the whole being yourself thing doesn't really work at that point, which is why they had Marmaduke save someone's life at the end of the movie and nearly sacrifice himself. That kind of undercuts the whole, if you just be yourself, people will accept you and you can win things and everything will be great. They undercut that by the fact that Marmaduke doesn't win the world championship by being himself, and then he ends up having to sacrifice himself to try and save someone, and then everybody's like, oh yeah, Marmaduke's really cool. It kind of ruins the whole point of the movie. However, I've been saying this whole video that Marmaduke is worthless. That's atrocious. That you shouldn't watch it. However, if you're an adult and you watch it with your friends and you get your sip on, or maybe you do a little puff, I think you guys would have a great time making fun of this movie. I could definitely see you guys making fun of this movie. Me, watching it by myself, not inebriated in any way, shape, or form, because unfortunately I'm not that kind of person, I had a terrible time because my mind was functioning at full capacity. But if it's not, this will be a funny time. You will definitely love watching this movie. And there's a scene at the beginning of the movie where Marmaduke falls into a pool and it creates an ocean of water, and it just doesn't make any sense. The water itself is animated poorly, by the way, and I'm just like, what is this? What is this? So that's more or less where I'm going to end off talking about the movie Marmaduke. Now, I want to address the elephant in the room. So, Netflix as a whole. Netflix right now is in a dire strait where they're willing to make this movie. Netflix has raised their subscription price, lost, I think from what I read, 2 million subscribers recently, and they canceled a lot of future animated projects. Yet they're willing to waste money on stuff like the 360.
Have you ever had a dream that you
the 365-day movies, Marmaduke, and I'm sure other horrible projects they're gonna make in the future. Like they made Tall Girl 2 this year, and it's just, you guys have made good things, but the good things that you make, you treat like garbage, which results in them being canceled. Like Tuca and Birdie. Tuca and Birdie was a great show that they canceled after one season. It was a funny show. It had value to it, and they got rid of it. Kid Cosmic. Kid Cosmic was an animated series made by the guy that made most people's childhoods by making Powerpuff Girls. And they treated it like crap. I didn't even know that Kid Cosmic was on its 3rd season. Like, and now it's over. Like, it released season 1, I saw that, I was like, cool, and then I saw it said, hey, season 3, now it's over. And I'm like, when did season 2 come out? They don't advertise their quality content. Altered Carbon was fantastic. Canceled. Freaking, I am not okay with this. That show is spectacular. And from what I've heard, Netflix canceled it because they had to spend a little more money because of the pandemic. So originally it was renewed, but then when the pandemic hit, they canceled the show because of the extra cost it would take to film during the pandemic, which is just, I understand from a business standpoint that you want to cancel something because it'll cost you more money than you think you'll get on your return. I understand that. But that being said, you waste money on Marmaduke. Like, you hired at minimum 3 really famous people for this movie. J.K. Simmons, Pete Davidson, and Johnny Young Bosch. All 3 of them are J.K. Simmons is a legend on his own. The other 2 are just really famous in their fields. Like, Pete Davidson is regarded as a super funny comedian. Johnny Young Bosch is the voice of Ichigo Kurosaki. That is one of the most iconic anime characters to exist in present day. Like, just those 3 have so much to offer, and you wasted money on putting them in this terrible movie. Like, and then you cancel all of your good things. What is your plan here? Like, everything you're doing is wrong. What exactly is the plan that you're going for in the future? Because you can't keep making bad things and then expecting people to just go along with it. Like, your only saving grace right now is Stranger Things. Because this movie, ain't it, Chief? It's not. I really can't see that many people watching this movie. And if it surprisingly does well, I guess I don't know anything about entertainment. You know, I guess that's how it is. So just add me to the list of the millions of people that are terrible critics, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there because it's something on my mind about Netflix, and I didn't really feel like making a whole video about it. It's just something I want to throw in here, having seen the horrible, horrible Netflix movie. And I'll probably be reviewing other horrible Netflix movies in the future. Potentially. Maybe. If I feel like it. We'll see. But anyway, that was Marmaduke. I am the innocent villain. Remember, folks, you're innocent until proven villainous, and I'll catch you next time.